Hello beautiful people of the world, welcome to my channel. My name is Shay. Today I'm coming to you live in my bathrobe and my mom bun. If that doesn't tell you where I'm at in the pregnancy, then I don't really know what does. Today's video is going to be my 28-week update. I'm currently 29 weeks and 2 days, but we're going to do the 28-week, 27, 29 kind of all together. You know what I mean? 28 week is in the middle. We're going to start off with a bump date, which I'm going to insert right here because I obviously cannot show you that in my bathrobe. So let's quickly jump to that and I'll be right back with you. So that was my belly at 29 weeks and 2 days, what it looked like. It hasn't really changed since last week, so that's why I showed you it today. Now let's move on to my symptoms of 28 weeks pregnant. A little bit of backstory of what's been happening this pregnancy. This is an HG pregnancy. I'm going to pronounce this totally wrong, but hyperemesis gravidaeum. And essentially it's just severe and extreme morning sickness, and it's just this whole other thing. I have a couple videos about it if you're more interested. I'll link them down below. But that being said, I lost a lot of weight at the beginning of the pregnancy, 17 pounds within 2.5 weeks. And after that, around September, October, I started gaining back some weight and I put on 47 pounds since then. And it was a very fast, short time. So right now I'm filming this in December. From the beginning of October to December, I gained 47 pounds, which is a lot to gain that quickly, in my doctor's opinion. So my doctor was pretty concerned about that. And so she sent me for, you know, the usual glucose diabetes test for your gestational diabetes. Unfortunately, I did fail the 1-hour test and they said I need to cut out sugars, carbohydrates, things like that. That is just for my specific situation. It might be totally different for you if you do have gestational diabetes, but for me, I have to cut out sugars and carbohydrates for the most part, which has been really hard. And I have to go for the 3-hour test, or the 2-hour, I guess, technically, test, to see if I can pass it at that one. Hopefully I do. I honestly don't think I will. As much as I want to be positive, I don't think I will. I'm being practical here. I've been doing kind of that type of diet and not being able to eat my cravings. Unfortunately, this pregnancy, this baby, has me craving sweets like crazy, which is not like me at all. And I think that plays a big part into it. And now I cannot have sweets or sugars. So that's been kind of hard. I have not been able to eat my cravings, but you know, it's something very minuscule or little in the scheme of things. Because of this weight gain, I have been experiencing a lot of sore and stiff joints, more so than previous pregnancies that I've had. And I do think it's because I gained weight so fast. My body has never gained this much weight. My body has never even been, like right now, I'm 60 pounds more than I was, or 70 pounds more than I was last year. Not that that really matters, but trying to explain the fact that my body has never been this much weight. I'm currently 224 pounds at my appointment at 28 weeks, when my doctor was pretty concerned about my very drastic weight gain so quickly in the pregnancy. So I think because of that is why my joints and my knees and everything is aching. Also the fact that pregnancy, that does happen. This baby is very low down compared to my previous pregnancy. And this baby is like on my sciatica and it hurts so bad. I'm getting pains in my lower back, in my bottom, in my lower legs. Or my upper leg, I guess. It's so painful and so uncomfortable, and I haven't been able to really find a proper relief for it, unfortunately. But I know towards the end of pregnancy you get all those aches and pains and there's not much you can do about it. So I'm just hoping and crossing my fingers that this baby comes around 38 weeks and that I don't have to wait the full 40 weeks or 42 weeks like some people do. I also wanted to mention, not only did I fail my diabetes test, I also failed the kind of like iron test that they did on me. So I have very low iron, which is another concern. Originally they did take me off of the prenatal vitamin because of my HG in pregnancy. I was so sick, the prenatal was making it worse, so they put me on only folic acid. Then they decided because of my low iron I had to go back on the prenatal, and the first day I took it I threw up everywhere, everything. It was just a hot mess. I was shaking. It was like my body was going through almost like withdrawals, but I was having it. It was like really weird and kind of scary. That being said, I'm still taking the prenatal. What I do now is I'm still on my medication for my HG, my full medication for it, unfortunately, but it has been helping a little bit. And what I do is in the middle of the night I do have to wake up to take my HG medication. I have alarms set too during the night to take it, and when that alarm goes off I quickly take my prenatal, drink it, and I go back to sleep so that I cannot feel the uncomfortable and the sickness that it makes me feel. And it's worked so far for 3 days, so let's hope it keeps working. Baby's heart rate at the doctor's appointment this week was 145. It's been about the same the whole entire time. And yeah, I just thought that was super cool. It is different than my daughter's, but super cool. And we really do not know the sex of the baby. We don't know if we're having a boy or a girl yet. We're gonna find out at the birth, so it's kind of cool. This point in time, my guess is boy. It changes so often. Like if you asked me about 5 weeks ago, I would have said 100% girl. We bought girl stuff and everything, but now I'm really thinking I'm having a boy. Not that it matters either way. We would be so happy either way. I genuinely do not have a preference. Like I actually don't have a preference. But that being said, I do think I'm carrying a boy right now. We will see in a few weeks who the little baby is inside me. We do have 2 names picked, one for a boy, one for a girl. It's not 100% for sure names, which is why I'm not saying it. But that being said, they might be born and we might think, hey, they look like someone else or something else, and that would be their name instead. So for now, we are not going to be naming the baby because we don't know who they are yet. As you can tell by what I just said, I'm so out of breath all the time. That's a symptom that's been there for a while, but now that my uterus is really going up, I'm out of breath all the time. I'm getting that uncomfortable like indigestion. And also this week, yesterday was Christmas, and I had Christmas dinner because even though I'm not supposed to have carbs and sugar, I was like, the one day, Christmas dinner is like my favorite thing ever. Like I love a good feast is what I call it. And my mom would laugh because she knows ever since I was little I would say it's a feast. And so I was like, I'm gonna have Christmas dinner this year, and I regretted it so bad. I was not feeling well at all. My gallbladder issues that I had previously started acting up as well, mixed with my pregnancy issues and the fact that I have issues with my sugars right now. So everything combined just like exploded last night, and it was like so much pain inside me, so uncomfortable, and I really regretted it. So that being said, I went right back to my no sugar and no carbs, and that's where we'll be going from there. Do you like my cup? It says editing day, do not disturb. My partner got it for me for Christmas. I think it's perfect for me, don't you? Okay, on to the next. I've been feeling a lot of movements and kicks as per normal, but the baby is a lot bigger now, so I feel really like the movement of them, and they kick so hard sometimes it's like ugh, and very uncomfortable, sometimes a little bit painful. Not quite at the point where they have flipped, so they're not head down yet. My previous baby was breech, so that's something we're being careful of, but this baby does have a few more weeks still to turn before we have any concern about the fact that they might be breech. So for now, I'm not too worried, but they are at the moment feet down and their head is up here, and they're kind of just like in that C shape. So I've been feeling a lot of movements. They're kicking a lot anytime music is playing or I'm watching something on my phone. They're going crazy in there. And yeah, just like normal babies do, they're awake at night a lot of the time and sleeping in the daytime. Unfortunately, my morning sickness and HG symptoms came back into overdrive the past few weeks. I've been experiencing extreme nausea and throwing up, and it's just been a hot mess, not fun. I did not miss that part. I do know it is common for it to come back in the 3rd trimester towards the end, so I'm not concerned about it, but it is very unfortunate that I have to deal with that. And at the moment, it's more so coming in the evening time and the nighttime, not as much in the morning, even though they call it morning sickness, of course. And I'm also obviously very exhausted, so when I wake up in the morning, I normally have been going to bed around like 11 o'clock. Like I lay in bed at 8, but I fall asleep around 11, and I wake up around 8 o'clock with my little one, depending. Sometimes she wakes up at like 6, but lately I've been keeping her up later so that she can go to bed, and then it kind of works that she sleeps in a little bit till like 8, and so I sleep, I think that's about 9 hours normally I would sleep. And it's not like a steady sleep. I'm waking up all night to pee, I'm waking up off to my alarms for my medication and all of this hot mess. And Addison wakes up in the night, my 3-year-old, to go potty, and wakes up in the night crying because she's a bad dream. Like she's always up for something in the middle of the night, at least once, calling for me, and I have to go in there. If you don't know, I am a single mom to Addison, so I'm the only one that can kind of cater to her needs at nighttime. So that is kind of the, I guess, tricky part, but that's like any mom that is pregnant and has other children, so can't complain. The doctor did measure my uterus with just the measuring tape, and I am measuring 1 week behind kind of, so I'm measuring at 27 weeks. But with my daughter's pregnancy, it was the same situation. I was measuring a week behind the entire time, not in my actual ultrasound, but just in the way my uterus was growing. I just have smaller bellies overall. Right now where my belly is at, I'm pretty sure this is as big as I was at 40 weeks with my daughter. So we will see how much bigger I grow, because technically I still have another 10 to 11 weeks, I guess, to grow. So we will see how big it gets. I wanted to chat a little bit about my birth plan, but before I do that, anything I say, this is my opinion, what I want to do for myself and my own child. You do not need to listen to me, you do not need to do this. And in my honest opinion, no birth is any more valuable or special or like any more important than any other birth. So whether you have a C-section, vaginal birth, you get the epidural, you don't, you are no better than anyone else. We all have to get our babies into this world safe and sound, and for us to be safe and sound, and however you need to do that and however the doctor decides that that needs to be done, because birth plans do not always go to plan, as we all know, then that's what matters and that's what's important. So that being said, this is my birth plan of what I would like to happen. Essentially the same thing that happened with my previous pregnancy, and that is I'm going to be doing a drug-free vaginal birth. I would say natural birth, but I think that's silly. I know people have different opinions about the word natural. So by natural birth, I mean fully drug-free, no drug intervention, no IVs hooked up to me, if all goes to plan, because if it turns out I'm dehydrated or I need something, obviously whatever's more important for me and the baby, that's what I'm gonna do. But if I had it my perfect way, I would have any type of medical like drugs kind of thing given to me, no IV, no fluid. I would have just a vaginal birth, and I would preferably, I mean, I wish my water would break again, that would be awesome, then I would confirm and know I was in labor. With my daughter, labored. I went to the hospital, they checked me, they confirmed I was in labor, but I was able to go home because I didn't want drugs, and I labored at home until it was time for me to go back to have her, because we did live kind of close to the hospital. Right now we're about 30 to 40 minutes from the hospital, not too bad, but my husband or partner, he does actually just start a new job soon, and his job with traffic is about like an hour to 2 hour drive. So I'm really hoping that it happens at night or something when he's around, that he can like get there in time, because my previous pregnancy was very quick for my labor, and the doctor kind of said, I know every labor is different, but the doctor kind of said, like, in a joking way, make sure you know how to deliver in your car because the next one's gonna come up really quick. So that being said, again, it's not for sure. Baby could still be hours and days before they come. It doesn't mean for sure your next one will be faster. I've heard people that it is faster, and I've heard people that it takes days for them for their second or third baby. So we obviously don't know what's gonna happen. They're kicking like crazy right now, sorry. But that being said, my plan is to labor at home as much as I can, or like walk around and not lay down and just try to let gravity do its work, and hopefully that can happen. I really want to go into labor naturally as well. I do not want to be induced. If I can prevent it, that would be amazing. I personally just have this big fear of C-sections. Like, that is the most terrifying thing to me. I mean, anyone who has a baby and brings a baby into this world is a champ, but C-section to me is just so scary to think about, and I don't know why. I know it's not really that big of a deal in a way, but it also is because it's like a surgery. I'm just like really scared of it, if that makes sense. I'm scared of like being awake during it or being put under. Like, I'm scared of both options. I'm just scared of like my recovery. I've heard bad things and I've heard good things about it, and I just like really don't want to have to go through that. But if I do have to go through that, then that's what'll happen. So that is kind of my COVID-19 pandemic baby birth plan, because I am having a baby in the middle of a global pandemic. It is 2020, I'm due in 2021, and so we're bringing like masks, hand sanitizers, all this stuff. I probably have to have a COVID test when we go to the hospital. No one can come into the hospital to visit, and afterwards we're probably not going to have visitors when we get home either. So that's kind of what's happening, my COVID birth plan. Again, things can change. We don't know what's going to happen. We'll have to find out when baby decides to come, what happens. But that is my COVID birth plan for this year. And that is my 28-week update. So overall, kind of the same, but some things are a little bit different. We're really preparing for the baby. We have the hospital bag ready. Everything is ready for this baby at this point. We have like diapers, clothes, everything's washed, ready to go. I've been like kind of in nesting mode for a while now, but not nesting. I know there's a difference. I've just been like organizing and preparing, and I can feel the feeling of nesting coming, where I'm just like feel the extreme need to have everything perfect. Like if something's messy, I'm like, no, it needs to be organized and fixed, and I'm fixing all of like the burp cloths and the diapers and everything. So we're super excited to meet this little baby very soon and find out who we're having. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see y'all quick soon.